Hello, my name is Jerome Chua, and this is my graduate research project for MGT5380, the performance management system for Office Depot. Why Office Depot? Office Depot operates in a specialty retail sector focusing on the office supply market. In this market, competition is very fierce. The consumer tastes or preferences are also changing. The emerging competitors, such as Amazon, Costco, and Walmart, are affecting Office Depot's market share. In 2013, Office Depot merged with Office Max, which helped their bottom line tremendously. But as previously stated, the emerging competitors are slowly chipping away at Office Depot's market share. In 2015, Office Depot has agreed to be acquired by Staples. This agreement was blocked by the FTC later that year. Let's talk about performance management. What is performance management? Performance management is the continuous process of identifying, measuring, and developing the performance of individuals and teams and align the performance with the organization's strategic goals. It is a continuous process, which is a never-ending cycle of setting goals and objectives, observing performance, and giving and receiving coaching and feedback. Performance management should also be aligned with the strategic goals of the organization. Managers should ensure that employee activities and goals are in line with the organization's strategy. This alignment helps the organization gain a competitive advantage. This slide talks about the benefits of performance management if implemented correctly. Motivation is increased. Receiving feedback often increases the desire to perform better. Knowledge of accomplishment fuel future accomplishments. Employee self-esteem is increased. Employees receive recognition and value for their work. This usually leads to increased self-esteem and productivity. Managers gain insight on their direct reports. Managers get to learn more about their subordinates, how they perceive things, their personalities, and their future goals and aspirations. This familiarity will help the managers build a relationship with their direct reports. This relationship will make the managers perform better decisions on task and project assignments. Employee jobs are well defined. In the evaluation period, the employees gain a better understanding of what it takes to be successful in their job. There's a better opportunity for development. During the feedback period, employees gain insight on the strengths and weaknesses of their performance. This gives them the opportunity to improve and define their career paths in the developmental period. Administrative actions become more fair and appropriate. The data gathered from the performance management system can provide basis for merit increases, demotions, promotions, or transfers. Organizational goals are clarified for the employees. Because the organizational goals are linked to the performance management system, the employee gains a better understanding of the set goals. This understanding and acceptance of the organizational goals can foster behavior which could lead to an effective strategic advantage for the organization. Employees become more competent. Improved performance for employees also builds a foundation for development and career growth. Because of this, the employees gain more skill sets which can lead them to perform better at their jobs. Better protection from lawsuits. The data collected through the performance management systems helps document behavior of the employees and the performance of the employees. If properly implemented, this should also be in compliance with the regulatory laws, which in turn could protect the organization from lawsuits. Better differentiation between high and low performers. The data gathered from the performance management system can also easily identify the low performers and the top performers. Management views on performance are communicated clearly. This system allows for greater accountability for managers to address performance issues early on. Facilitates organizational change. Aligning the organizational goals to performance management systems is a great tool for organizational change. An example would be if a company decides to be more customer service focused, the performance management system will in turn plan, assess, and develop employees to be more customer service focused. Enhance motivation, commitment, employee retention, and increased engagement. If the employees are satisfied with the performance management systems of their company, it is less likely for them to leave their organization. With this, there's less risk for competitors to gain the knowledge of their former employees. Also, the increased motivation and commitment are enhanced due to the employee buy-in and the benefits of the development. Employee voice and concerns are encouraged. During the developmental planning, this gives the employees a stage to voice their concerns and also allow them to control the direction in which their career will go. This can be in the form of training, which they could take, which will prepare them to be more qualified for future roles within the company. Companies promoting from within have an advantage because the employee going to the new position will already be familiar with the culture of the company. This in turn takes less time for the employee for onboarding. As an added bonus, the employee will also be knowledgeable of their previous work, thus is able to assist with their previous department should the need arise. After discussing the benefits, this slide discusses the pitfalls for performance management systems if not implemented correctly. Increased turnover. Employees can either leave the organization or withdraw from the organization, meaning lowered performance, while they find another job. Misleading information. If there's no standards in place, the performance management system can often lead to the fabrication or inaccurate information of employee performance. Lowered employee self-esteem. Feedback from low in performance due to inaccurate and fabricated information would lead to employee resentment and burnout. A waste of time and money. This bullet is pretty much self-explanatory, as a performance management system uses significant amount of resources to implement. The poor design and execution are a waste of companies' time and money. Relationships are damaged. As a result of poorly implemented system, the relationships between the individuals involved will be damaged. This will lead to low productivity for all of those involved. Another pitfall for improper implementation of performance management systems is decreased motivation. This often occurs when there are no tangible or intangible rewards. The employee will always say, "Why perform well at all when there are no rewards at the end? I'll just do the bare minimum." There's an increased risk of lawsuits. Not having a set of standards or unfair and inaccurate appraisals and non-compliance to government regulations can lead to lawsuits due to decisions resulting in demotions, passed over promotions, and terminations. Biases. The lack of training for assessors or reviewers can lead to skewed ratings based on the rater's personal values, beliefs, and relationships. Unclear rating system. This occurs when the rating method is not defined and the employees are uncertain on how they are scored for their performance. This will lead them to question the validity of the review. Characteristics of the ideal performance management system. They should have clear objectives. The objectives should be set in the SMART method, meaning they should be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-specific. They should be reliable and valid. The provided measures for evaluating performance should be measurable, and also they should be consistent and error-free. Standardized. The procedures for the performance management system should be standardized, and measures and performance criteria should be well defined. The employees also should be made aware of the standards. Training provided. Evaluators should be given training on how to conduct appraisals to mitigate the chance of rater bias. Related to job. This means that only job-rated behavior and performance should be the focus of the appraisals. Identifies effective and ineffective performance. Systems should be in place to prevent vague and unmeasurable assessments. Open. Employees are continuously informed of the results of their performance. This will give them a chance to correct any performance issues in the future. Correctable. An appeals process should be in place to correct inaccurate assessments. Ethical. Systems should comply with ethical standards, and raters should only rate on performance when there is sufficient evidence or information. The privacy of the employee should also be respected. The next slides talk about the steps of creating a performance management system. The first and most important step in creating performance management system is defining the corporate strategy and linking to the performance management system. Strategic goals, when linked to competencies, reinforce employee action and behavior. These actions and behaviors can lead to organizational success. The link is formed when aspects of the organization's strategic plan is used to form the unit's strategic plan. Aspects of the unit's plan is then used to formulate an employee's job description. Lastly, the employee's job description is used to formulate the individual or team's performance goals. Engagement and support of stakeholders. The engagement and support of stakeholders is very important to the success of a performance management system. This comes in the form of support and buy-in from senior management. This buy-in and support then cascades down to all levels of the company. Defining job classification groups or types. This is determined by the type of industry or market an organization competes in. Examples of job groups or types are executive, management, sales, professional, project-oriented, technical, and routine. Each type will have goals and objectives based with assessments related to the organization's strategy, unit strategy, or job description. Determine feedback. This depends on the preference of the organization. It can be manager-employee type, or it can be a multi-perspective 360-degree feedback. The performance management system should also be communicated to the organization. It should answer questions such as the reason for implementing the performance management system, the relation to the strategy, how does it work, and the employee responsibilities. Define how and how often to appraise. This can come in the form of formal and informal appraisals. Examples of the frequency can be by business year, by anniversary date, by project cycle, or monthly or quarterly. Acknowledge that there may be performance constraints. There will be cases where the performance of the employee may be limited to constraints or factors beyond the employee's control. Examples of this are shortage of staff, economic conditions, budget constraints, or shortage of raw materials. Integrate performance management systems with other HR processes. Data collected from performance management systems can be used in other HR processes, examples of which are rewards recognitions, leadership development, promotions, succession planning, demotions, and terminations. Ensure privacy and confidentiality of results. Organizations should also have policies of the following. Where will be the results stored? What protection of privacy and confidentiality are in place? Who has access to these results? Many countries have policies regarding privacy. It's best to consult legislation to ensure that the policies are in compliance. Provide training and instructions in regards to performance management. Training should be provided to all employees so that they will know how to fully utilize the performance management systems. For managers, training to ensure that the process is understood and they have the training to have the skills for coaching and providing fair and accurate feedback. For employees, training to ensure that their role in their process is understood. They should also be informed for corrective actions and be aware of the appeals process. Let's look at the steps of the appraisal process. The first step is the prerequisites. From there we go to the performance planning. After the planning, the performance execution. After that, it's the performance assessment. After it's assessed, then you go to the performance review. Then you go to the renewal and recontracting. And then the process starts over again. Let's talk about the appraisal process in detail. The first and most important step is identifying the prerequisites. During this phase, there must be a clear understanding of the organizational strategy and tie in the employee goals to the strategic goals of the organization. Another key factor is the understanding of or knowledge of the job description of the employee. The next step is the performance planning phase. In this phase, the performance standards are established based on the prerequisites. These standards are communicated to the employee and are used to create a development plan. The performance execution phase is when a manager observes and documents the ideal behavior, then provides updates to the employee of the organizational goals. The manager then provides feedback on the employee's progression towards the goals and objectives, after which they offer the employee resources in order to achieve those goals and objectives. Lastly, reinforces the effective behavior and corrects the ineffective behavior for employees in order to sustain and achieve the organizational goals and objectives. Performance assessment occurs when the manager compares the employee's actual performance with the determined standards. In this process, the manager usually will fill out an appraisal form. But for best results, systems should also include self-assessments to be performed by the employees. The information gained from these forms will then be used for the performance review. The performance review is when the manager and the employees discuss the appraisal. This discussion will enable both the manager and the employee to gain more insight on the employee's strengths and weaknesses. Great care must be taken during this phase because the interaction could lead to a strain between the employee and the manager if statements are incorrectly interpreted. A good example of a constructive statement for a manager would be, "I think you're doing well in your performance. But if you do steps 1, 2, or 3, you can take your performance to the next level." Performance renewal and contracting. This occurs when both the manager and the employee reassess the employee's performance based on the data gathered from the review. During this phase, an agreement between the manager and the employee will be reached on future standards and performance. Let's look at the steps for the development planning. You have the assessment, then the discussion. This is done by the employee and the manager. Once the discussion is finished, then you make the plan, and this is usually the responsibility of the employee, and then take action when the process starts over. What is development planning? Development planning is the process where both the manager and the employee work on and assess the resources needed in order for that employee to achieve their target goals and objectives. This is also a good tool for employee advancement as it provides the employee with the necessary skills and knowledge to be qualified for future roles. As discussed in the previous slide, let's talk about the steps of development planning. The manager and the employee assess and discuss the employee's current skills and knowledge. This discussion often leads to an agreement in which resources are required in order to develop the employee's skills and knowledge. The next step is for the employee to plan when they can use the agreed resources and action those plans in order to increase their knowledge and skills that will help them achieve their future goals. How does this all apply to Office Depot? In order to create a performance management system for Office Depot, we will need to determine the following. Determine the vision and mission of Office Depot. Determine the organizational strategy. Determine the competencies employees will need to be assessed on. Determine the type of feedback. Determine the appraisal frequency. Ensure the confidentiality of the results. and determine the training for performance management. Let's look at the vision and mission of Office Depot. The next slides were adapted from Office Depot's corporate website. Integrity. We earn the trust and confidence of associates, customers, suppliers, and shareholders by being open, honest, and truthful in what we do. Innovation. With a culture of creativity and a thirst for intelligent risk-taking, we aspire to do what has never been done. Inclusion. We approach all opportunities and challenges by respecting the diverse thoughts, beliefs, backgrounds, cultures, and energies of all associates, customers, and suppliers. Customer focus. We fuel our customers' dreams by anticipating and listening to their needs and passionately delivering on our promises. Failure is not an option, as we promise to wall on recovery. Accountability. We are responsible for achieving and sustaining unprecedented results that create extraordinary value to our shareholders and stakeholders through personal commitment, sensible thrift, and collaboration and shared leadership. In order to get a better view of Office Depot's corporate strategy, we must first determine their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For strengths, Office Depot has a strong brand awareness. They offer a wide variety of products. They have multiple locations in North America and internationally, with around 1,100 retail stores in North America and around 400 stores internationally. Office Depot also has a very strong supply chain and distribution network. For weaknesses, Office Depot has continually posted losses in profitability since 2011. They have also had a decrease in same-store sales. For opportunities, there is increased consumer preference for e-commerce. Because of this, Office Depot needs to strengthen and redesign its website to be more conducive of e-commerce. Social media should also be leveraged for marketing and customer service. There are many examples of companies' forays into social media going viral, which has netted value in the form of increased sales and increased brand loyalty. Customer service incentives should also be beefed up. There are also opportunities for Office Depot in the global and emerging markets, and there are also opportunities in the small to medium business sectors. For threats, oftentimes the competitors' prices are lesser. There's the e-commerce dominance of firms such as Amazon and the increasing labor costs. Based on the SWOT analysis above, the following are possible strategies that Office Depot can implement in order to be successful. Increase the focus on e-commerce. Better use of social media for marketing and customer service. Increase focus on small to medium businesses. Increase focus on global and emerging markets. Improve efficiency in supply chain. Improve the customer service. Improve the quality of the products offered. This slide talks about the competencies that should be assessed for each employee of Office Depot. These competencies are tied to the corporate strategy. All employees are to conduct themselves with integrity, develop innovative means to deliver goods and services, focus on providing excellent customer service, be accountable for actions. Job classification and job grouping. To further expand on the competencies, job classification and job grouping are to be determined by Office Depot. The competencies are to be based in the SMART principles. SMART meaning specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time specific. In this slide, in the next few slides, I will state what Office Depot should include in their competencies based on their job groups. But please bear in mind that these competencies are suggestions, and Office Depot can add and remove competencies as they see fit. For Executive Management Job Group, competencies should include ethics and integrity, achieving organizational goals and objectives, leadership, providing innovative solutions, developing others, development of strategic goals. For the management job group, competencies should include ethics and integrity, achieving unit goals and objectives, leadership, providing innovative solutions, developing others, and customer focus skills. For project-oriented job groups, competencies should include ethics and integrity, project goals and objectives, providing innovative solutions, and customer focus skills. For the professional job group, competencies should include ethics and integrity, achieving departmental goals and objectives, providing innovative solutions, and customer service focus skills. For the sales job group, competencies should include ethics and integrity, customer service focus skills, providing innovative solutions, and achieving sales goals and objectives. For routine or regularized job groups, competencies should include ethics and integrity, customer service focus, providing innovative solutions, and task completion. Job descriptions. Each job description is to be determined by the respective departments of Office Depot. The job descriptions should also be in line with the units and the organizational strategy. Let's talk about the technology and the delivery method to be used in Office Depot's performance management system. Will it use paper forms or electronic forms? How will the data be stored and accessed? The most ideal method or system would be a web-based system, meaning the forms and the data of the performance management system will be accessed through a website or a web page. This website can be stored in-house, meaning they reside in Office Depot's local servers, or they can be cloud-based by using providers like the Amazon Cloud, Microsoft Azure, and other cloud-based providers. The performance management data should also be stored in robust databases such as SQL, Oracle, or MySQL for easy retrieval, querying, analysis, and reporting. There should also be appropriate levels of access in this system. For HR, the access should be defined by their HR team. For managers, managers should only see the data of their direct reports. For employees should only see their data and no one else's. All employees must be fully briefed on the performance management system. Upper management should be engaged and involved in spreading the message about the performance management system. This in turn will cascade down to all levels of the organization. There should be workflow notifications in place for a reminder of appraisal dates. The system should also include workflows which help detect rating discrepancies, examples of which are mandatory comment fields to justify ratings that are extremely high or extremely low. Due to the ease of access brought by the technology infrastructure, the performance management system for Office Depot should also have policies for the storage of location of the data, that being either in-house or cloud-based, determine who has access to the data, meaning access should be based on the user's role or the employee's role, the protection of the data. This is in regards to disaster recovery and backups, and compliance with government regulations. Frequency of appraisal. This can be determined and agreed upon by the management of Office Depot. Depending on their preference, it could be by business year, by anniversary date, by project cycle, or for sales, by monthly or quarterly basis. Integration with other HR processes. Because the data from performance management systems can easily be accessed, Office Depot's HR can use this data in order to help with decisions in processes such as promotions, terminations, rewards such as bonuses, merit increases, succession planning, and development. Office Depot should also provide training in the performance management system for managers to ensure that the process is understood and gain skills on coaching and providing fair and accurate feedback. For employees, to ensure that their role in the process is understood and that there are systems in place for them to learn how well they perform and how to build their skills.